Am I the only one who thinks that America has probably the most childish culture on earth right now? Probably in human history. Like, if you take seriously what they are proposing, it's almost like they're living in a culture of witchcraft and wizardry, where there are certain incantations, certain esoterical knowledge that is harmful for people. But luckily, we have the brave paladins working at Twitter's Trust and Safety Council that stand between you and the speaker, the wizard, in order to defend you from the psychic damage that the wizard could cause. So in this case, you have the concept of dead naming, right? Where a necromancer like Jordan Peterson can conjure up and he can dead name a person, raise the name from the graves. And this caused shock and horror to the public. But again, the paladins, with their trust and safety, they immediately go like with the shield in front of you to guard you from the necromancer. And sometimes the necromancer's apprentice, Dave Rubin, can also dead name. And luckily, again, like the Twitter's trust and safety, they have the hammer of justice and they prevent the atrocity from happening. However, there seems to be some subterfuge going on. A person of such powerful magics that even the paladins at Twitter Trust and Safety weren't able to stop. Ben Shapiro, who used the facts and logic in order to get around the dead naming. And he said that Rubin report has now been suspended for posting news about Jordan Peterson's suspension. All because we are not allowed to mention that until 5 minutes ago, Elliot Page, who is very, very male, was a female actress named Ellen Page. Here's Dave's statement. So in other words, he did the dead name, but he provided additional context. You know, these are like healing words, which take the evil concept and gives it a positive spin, making it palatable enough for people to be able to digest. Because otherwise, like, it causes horror and dread, right? Like the necromancer. No, seriously, like the concept of words causing harm is the most American thing ever. I don't think it exists in many other places right now. Except for, you know, other cultures that are being tainted by American imperialism. But here in Eastern Europe, like just some words. Okay, I mean, sure, I suppose it can be rude, asshole-ish, not a nice thing to do. But to consider it dangerous, like an explosive device is dangerous, right? Are you telling me that words are like an explosive device?
Words are like bullets, and I let them pass right through me.
I have been suspended by Twitter for posting a screenshot of Jordan Peterson's tweet, which got he himself suspended. While it is unclear how I broke their terms of service, it is clear that they are breaking their fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders by letting a bunch of woke activists run the company. So, I noticed something very interesting about dead naming. The moment I noticed was in 2016, but more recently, there was this individual by the name of Christian who transitioned and I believe became Christine Chandler. Now, recently, some of you may know that this person allegedly fucked their mother. Incest. Horrible. Now, there were people on Twitter that had the conversation. Did you hear about Christian fucking his mom? And there were activists going, her mother. Her mother. And I was like, naruhodo. Now, this even happened to the extreme. There was a mass shooter, I remember in 2017, give or take, and they went into a supermarket and did a horrible thing. The police came, stopped them, right, put them down. And people were talking on Twitter. It's like, how can he do something like that? And again, the progressives were like, she. And this goes to wonder, it's like, okay, but like, who are you protecting? Because the person is dead. Like, you cannot hurt someone that already passed away. So, who are you protecting, in fact? And there's two explanations. Number one, they view misgendering as something that is beyond the pale. Like, even when you're talking about a worse crime committed, you shouldn't misgender. It's kind of like torture. You know, like, we agree as a civilized society never to use torture under any circumstance. So even when it's the worst person, the worst possible offender, torture should never be a punishment. And that is how I think like they're interpreting. That is one possibility. The other possibility is that the ideology doesn't just try to persuade people into saying the correct things. They try to persuade people into believing the correct things. If you look at why J.K. Rowling got in trouble, she didn't get in trouble because she didn't respect pronouns. She got in trouble because she didn't believe that trans women are women. When you go on Twitter, you will often be asked, like, do you believe that trans women are women, right? That's what they're caring the most about, is the belief. Like, what is your most sincere belief? What is in your heart? That is what they care about. It doesn't care, like, if you're respecting the pronouns or if you're following what is to said and you don't dead name or whatever. No. Do you believe? That's the most important aspect. And I have seen people being asked this ridiculous scenario where they want to test to see if you're a trans misogynist or not. They will ask, okay, what if you're at a date with a woman and you later find out, like, everything is going fine, you take her to your bedroom and then you find out that she has a penis. Would you still do it? If you're a straight guy. Now, if you say no, then you're a misogynist, right? Because, well, why wouldn't you have sex with the woman if you find out that she is trans? So, this is a very unlikely scenario to happen. It's almost impossible for this scenario to take place. But it's a hypothetical for them to see if you believe. That's what matters, right? Do you believe with all your heart, under any circumstance? And apparently, Dave Rubin as well as Jordan Peterson do not believe. Like, they will respect your pronouns, they will treat you with dignity, but they, deep inside, do not believe. As such, they need to be punished. So this is why they are so defensive of gender ideology. Because they want to create a system where everyone believes. And they use force in order to do it. Like, they're not going to try to convince. Like, notice there aren't a lot of trans activists trying to have a conversation with Jordan Peterson or Rubin Report to explain to them why the naming is so harmful. No, right? Just banhammer. Boom. No conversation, no discussion. Ban. And this is why they don't want Elon Musk to take over. Because if Elon Musk takes over, this rule will probably go away from Twitter because it is a very bipartisan leftist rule. I mean, there is still a controversy going on. I'm pretty sure if you go in public and you actually ask people what dead naming is, many of them might not even be able to provide a definition. I know for people who sit on the internet all day, it seems like it's a common thing and common knowledge, but if you go in a rural area, most people are going to have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, well, like a necromancer, like the devil bringing from the dead. It's like, what are you talking about? No, that's not what you're talking about. Talking about academic definition, you bigot. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.